Hello, everyone, and we're back again talking with William McKissock from Schooley Mitchell. Just a reminder, William works in expense management for Schooley Mitchell and comes up with many ways in which to save companies and organizations substantial amounts of money that add to the bottom line. Just in case you haven't yet, take a look at the YouTube channel. Make sure to like, comment, and share at the bottom of that. We love hearing from you, and we love hearing your feedback on these very interesting topics that we've been covering. We've covered quite a few at this point in time, and it's always delightful to sit with William and to listen to him talk about the ways in which companies can save money. We've covered many of them, so if you haven't seen all the videos, go into the YouTube channel and certainly take a look. Good morning, William. How are you?
Good morning, Patty. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. I am excited about our topic today. We're talking about P&L management, and just as always, before we get into that, can you just give everybody a brief synopsis of what you do?
Yes. Schooley Mitchell is North America's largest independent expense reduction consulting company. The company itself is based in Stratford, Ontario. It's a franchise. There's over 100 members of staff, and about half of those are the analysts we use to look for savings for our clients. I'm a franchisee business owner, and there's over 220 of us together across the United States, and we all pull together, head office, all the franchise network, we all pull together for the benefit of our clients. There's only two outcomes of working with Schooley Mitchell. We'll either confirm you have the best services and prices for free, we do the audits for nothing, or we save you money. If we save you money and you accept our recommendations that shows you savings, our fees are a share of those savings.
Every week you share this with me, and every week I hear something new that's come out of that. So it's very helpful. So once again, for our viewers, if you haven't yet, go back and look at some of the past ones, because you will, I promise, learn something new every time. So today we're going to talk about profit and loss management, and it's something that is a bit of an art and certainly an important part of a business. And you do quite a bit when it comes to that P&L management. Companies do it in many different ways. And I just wanted to kind of open blanket throw the topic out to you and hear what you had to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Schooley Mitchell, we're not an accounting company, we're an expense reduction company, but I talk to businesses a lot about how saving money affects the bottom line, and profit and loss is a great way to kind of emphasize that fact. And for a point of reference, the numbers part of a business is not my strong point. I'm from a roll your sleeves up working class Scottish family, so the numbers has never been my strong point. I graduated with a business degree when I was 37, but you know what? Like the roll your sleeves up idea, you have to roll your sleeves up and you have to do what you have to do in your business. So it's not my strong point. My personality, my energy, my drive, my thinking at the box, all of that is my strong point. So numbers is not my strong point, but you have to do it if you're going to be a business owner. So anybody watching this, it's not your strong point. You get lots of help. We have help at Schooley Mitchell to do the actual auditing that helps businesses increase those profit numbers in their profit and loss. I can look at it, but my team can dial even deeper into it, and therefore find even more savings, therefore increase that bottom line, because it's all about the bottom line. When we're talking about profit and loss, everything is about the bottom line. So the way I talk about it when I'm speaking to business owners, if you look at your profit and loss, you look at your costs and you look at your profits. I mean, that's our piece of the profit and loss statement. We're looking at where's your expenses, where's your profits coming from. So when we look at expenses, we can show a client, when you bring us on board for telecom, credit card processing, shipping, waste, utilities, fuel, e-signature, any of those categories, if you have that as a cost category on your profit and loss, we can show you how we can reduce that cost. So therefore that affects the profit side. And even though we come on board as an added cost in the cost column, by the time you get to your bottom line is a bigger number. And that's the thing that I'm always beating about the drum is that we'll come in and do this audit for free, or we save you money. And how does it affect the profit and loss? Yeah, you're going to add us as a column. Well, you're going to add us as a row in the column for your costs. But even by having us in that cost column, what we're guaranteeing is you put us in as a cost column, but your bottom line will have more money in it. Simple as that. I mean, it's kind of really that basic when a business is looking at a profit and loss. We emphasize that the cost is the area that you have to look at. So even by bringing us in and adding us as a cost, we guarantee that in writing that you will be saving money enough to make your profit at the bottom of your profit and loss sheet a bigger number.
You know, it's interesting to hear you listen to you talk about this particular topic, because what it makes me think about is that we look at sales and we say, incrementally, if we can add this much in sales, look what it will do to our bottom line and to on our profit and loss statement. It's the very similar concept with the expense side. If you can save a few points in terms of your expenses and in terms of your expense percent to sales, then you can certainly drive that bottom line profit as well.
Yeah, and I mean, relating purely to the profit and loss, I talk about this all the time, not necessarily saying, okay, look at your accounting, your profit and loss, but just kind of think of the bigger picture, what's happening here. You're spending a lot of time and effort and resources in making money. That's good, because that's good to add that to the profit side of your profit and loss. The loss side, your expenses side, you have to look at that as well, because if you just purely look at your business from the profit, from the expense side, you're going to see what I'm talking about, because you have to jump through hoops of fire to add those monies in that profit side of the profit and loss. The other side, the expense side, you have to take care of that, because both of those, when you get down to the bottom line, they both affect that number that you want to see as your profits. So if you're not actually looking at both at the same time constantly, because nobody ever stops doing sales. If they do, the business goes under. So why would you stop keeping on top of your expenses? Because they both go to the same place. It's the same route to the exact same place. They both affect that number. So it's really important. So I'm glad you brought this topic up, because it's something I talk about all the time, is that how hard it is to make money. We guarantee that with our services, you will spend less money, therefore have more money at the bottom line in your profit and loss, because we guarantee you're going to save money because of what we're doing, including paying us, including having us in that loss side, that expense side of your profit and loss statement.
Yeah, and the other part to this too is just that, we're all doing more with less inside companies and organizations now. And to have somebody such as you and your organization come in and really drill this down, that's where the actual savings comes from, correct? Because I look at what's happening in the work environment, and I've been doing this for quite a while at this point in time, number of decades. And just seeing how people have taken on more and more and more, and especially with the more automation that comes into things, it's real easy to miss certain points with this. But what you all do is come in and look at certain specific areas.
Yes, and it's the areas are telecom, credit card processing, shipping, waste, e-signature, utilities, and fuel. So if you're a business and you spend money in those areas, that's a cost. That's eaten into your bottom line in your profit and loss statement, pure and simple. If you can spend less money in those areas, your profits will be higher. Whatever happens in your sales side, I mean, we can't control that. It's up to you. We're not a sales generating business. We can recommend people who can help you with their sales, people like yourself who can show all the reasons why you have to do things better to make your because it's not just about sales and trying to market and stuff. It's about how you do things correctly within your organization. And that's something that you're fantastic at. We actually talked about that subject in relation to how expenses can allow you to divert resources back into making the people nicer for your clients. Therefore, that affects the bottom line. So everything you do affects the bottom line. So the expense part, the loss part, and the profit and loss statement is vital as Portman is that there's two lines to it. Your accountant would never tell you, oh yeah, the profit's more important than the loss side. If you go to your accountant, he's going to say, you're bleeding money over here. Why are you doing that? That's affecting you. It's the same thing. Businesses think they've got the best prices possible, and they have, and for their particular relationship with their vendors, they don't have 25,000 clients talking to the same vendors. And that's the big thing we bring to the table. That's a huge benefit. So therefore, it's a huge piece of ammunition to have in the expense side of your profit and loss statement.
It's funny because you and I, in our pre-conversation to this today, we're talking about this, and we thought it would be a very short session and so on and so forth. And it turns out that this is something that is quite a lengthy topic that I think needs a lot more conversation. So what I would say to the people who are listening to this is make sure and reach out to William and talk to him about this, because this has got so many other levels to it and so much detail that can come into this that can really help an organization save money and certainly drive that bottom line profit. I mean, we're all looking for a return in some way, shape, or form with our businesses. And, the fact that you can save companies such substantial amounts of time and money is certainly worth a conversation. So I would really encourage people to do that. One of the things that we like to do as we're talking to is talk about a fun fact with William. And usually we talk about this a little bit beforehand. We didn't today. So I'm throwing this one to you completely blind. William.
Yeah, you have, because we normally talk about the fun fact we're going to talk about, so you've kind of thrown me under the bus a little bit. Okay, well, here's a fun fact of me. As a very proud Scottish person, the first time I ever wore a kilt as a little boy, as a wee boy, my mother made me wear a kilt. I cried. I was in tears. I didn't like wearing a kilt because I thought it was a skirt and I was so uncomfortable with it. It just shows you that as you grow older, you realize things.
That's so funny. Here's another one that we could throw out to everybody is, who's the celebrity people say you look most alike?
Well, yes, when I was young, I mean, I even thought it myself. When you see photographs of me as a young person, I looked like Donny Osmond when I was young. Everybody said I looked like Donny Osmond, so much so that all my aunties, because my mother had like 7 sisters and 1 brother, and they were all talking about putting my photograph in with Donny Osmond's photograph for these lookalike competitions on TV. And I was mortified because all my friends as kids used to call me Donny, and I hated it.
That's so funny. Well, I'm looking forward to our next topic next week and can't wait to hear more. It's always such a pleasure and just so interesting to listen to you talk and listen to all the different ways in which expense management certainly affects and impacts so many other areas inside of a business. And with that, we're going to throw it to Tanya for traffic.